वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धम् गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैर्ननधी कैवर्तकः केशवः। आराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरम् हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानम् मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजम् कलिमलप्रध्वंसि नः श्रेयसे मूकम् करोति वाचालम् पङ्गुम् लङ्घयते गिरिम् यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अथ पंचमोऽध्यायः।
पञ्चमोऽध्यायः।
कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येदिति आरभ्य
कर्मण्यकर्मयः पश्येदिति आरभ्य
स युक्तः कृष्णकर्मकृत्
सयुक्तकृष्णकर्मकृत्
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम्
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम्
शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्
शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्
यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः
यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः
ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः
ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः
कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान्
कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान्
सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ
सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ
ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि
ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि
योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणम्
योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणम्
इत्येतैः वचनैः सर्वकर्मसन्न्यासम् अवोचत् भगवान्।
इत्येतैः वचनैः सर्वकर्मसन्न्यासम् अवोचत् भगवान्।
चित्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठ इति
चित्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठ इति
अनेन वचनेन योगं च कर्मानुष्ठानलक्षणम् अनुतिष्ठ इति उक्तवान्। तयोः उभयोश्च कर्मानुष्ठानकर्मसन्न्यासयोगो स्थितिगतिवत् परस्परविरोधात्
कर्मानुष्ठानकर्मसन्न्यासयोः स्थितिगतिवत् परस्परविरोधात्
एकेन सह कर्तुम् अशक्यत्वात् कालभेदेन च अनुष्ठानविधान अभावात् अर्थात् एतयोः अन्यतरकर्तव्यता प्राप्तौ सत्याम् यत् प्रशस्यतरम् एतयोः कर्मानुष्ठानकर्मसन्न्यासयोः तत् कर्तव्यं न इतरत इति
तत् कर्तव्यं न इतरत् इति
एवं मन्यमानः प्रशस्यतर बुभुत्सया अर्जुन उवाच
प्रशस्यतर बुभुत्सया अर्जुन उवाच
सन्न्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण इत्यादिना
सन्न्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण इत्यादिना
ननु च आत्मविदः
ननु च आत्मविदः
ज्ञानयोगेन निष्ठां प्रतिपिपादयिषयन्
ज्ञानयोगेन निष्ठां प्रतिपादयिष्यन्
पूर्वोदाहृतैः वचनैः भगवान् सर्वकर्मसन्न्यासम् अवोचत्
पूर्वोदाहृतैः वचनैः भगवान् सर्वकर्मसन्न्यासम् अवोचत्
न तु अनात्मज्ञस्य
न तु अनात्मज्ञस्य
अतश्च कर्मानुष्ठानकर्मसन्न्यासयोः
कर्मानुष्ठानकर्मसन्न्यासयोः
भिन्नपुरुषविषयत्वात्
भिन्नपुरुषविषयत्वात्
अन्यतरस्य प्रशस्यतरत्वबुभुत्सया अयं प्रश्नः अनुपपन्नः
अन्यतरस्य प्रशस्यतरत्वबुभुत्सया प्रश्नः अनुपपन्नः
सत्यमेव
सत्यमेव
त्वदभिप्रायेण प्रश्नः न उपपद्यते
तदभिप्रायेण प्रश्नो उपपद्यते
प्रष्टुः स्वाभिप्रायेण
प्रष्टुः स्वाभिप्रायेण
पुनः प्रश्नः युज्यते एव इति वदामः
पुनः प्रश्नः युज्यते एव इति वदामः
कथम्
कथम्
पूर्वोदाहृतैः वचनैः
पूर्वोदाहृतैः वचनैः
भगवता कर्मसन्न्यासस्य कर्तव्यतया विवक्षितत्वात्
भगवता कर्मसन्न्यासस्य कर्तव्यतया विवक्षितत्वात् प्राधान्यम्
अन्तरेण च कर्तारम् तस्य कर्तव्यत्वा संभवात् अनात्मविदपि कर्ता पक्षे प्राप्तः अनुद्यते एव न पुनः आत्मवित् कर्तृकत्वम् एव सन्न्यासस्य विवक्षितम् इति एवं मन्वानस्य अर्जुनस्य कर्मानुष्ठानकर्मसन्न्यासयोः अविद्वत्पुरुषकर्तृकत्वम् अपि अस्ति इति पूर्वोक्तेन प्रकारेण तयोः परस्परविरोधात् अन्यतरस्य कर्तव्यत्वे प्राप्ते प्रशस्यतरं च कर्तव्यं न इतरत इति प्रशस्यतर विविदिषया पृष्टः न अनुपपन्नः प्रतिवचनवाक्यात् निरूपेणापि प्रष्टुः अभिप्रायः एवमेव इति गम्यते कथम् सन्न्यासकर्मयोः निःश्रेयसकरौ तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते इति प्रतिवचनम्
तयोस्तु कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते इति प्रतिवचनम्।
एतत् निरूप्यम्
एतत् निरूप्यम्
किम् अनेन आत्मवित् कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः
किम् अनेन आत्मवित्कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः
निःश्रेयसकरत्वम् प्रयोजनम् उक्त्वा
निःश्रेयसकरत्वं प्रयोजनम् उक्त्वा
तयोरेव कुतश्चित् विशेषात् कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगस्य विशिष्टत्वम् उच्यते।
तयोरेव कुतश्चित् विशेषात् कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगस्य विशिष्टत्वम् उच्यते।
आहोस्वित्
आहोस्वित्
अनात्मवित् कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः तदुभयम् उच्यते इति।
अनात्मवित् कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः तदुभयम् उच्यते इति।
किञ्चातः
किञ्चातः
यदि आत्मवित् कर्तृकयोः कर्मसन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः निःश्रेयसकरत्वम्
यदि आत्मवित् कर्तृकयोः कर्मसन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः निःश्रेयसकरत्वम्
तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगस्य विशिष्टत्वम् उच्यते।
तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगस्य विशिष्टत्वम् उच्यते।
यदि वा अनात्मवित् कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः
यदि वा अनात्मवित्कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः
तदुभयम् उच्यते इति।
तदुभयम् उच्यते इति।
अत्र उच्यते
अत्र उच्यते
आत्मवित् कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः असम्भवात्।
आत्मवित् कर्तृकयोः सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः असम्भवात्।
तयोः निःश्रेयसकरत्ववचनं तदीयाच्च कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगस्य विशिष्टत्वाभिधानम्।
तयोः निःश्रेयसकरत्ववचनं तदीयाच्च कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगस्य विशिष्टत्वाभिधानम्।
इत्येतदुभयम् अनुपपन्नम्।
अनुपपन्नम्।
यदि अनात्मविदः कर्मसन्न्यासः तत्प्रतिकूलश्च कर्मानुष्ठानलक्षणः कर्मयोगः सम्भवेताम्।
यदि अनात्मविदः कर्मसन्न्यासः तत्प्रतिकूलश्च कर्मानुष्ठानलक्षणः कर्मयोगः सम्भवेताम्।
तदा तयोः निःश्रेयसकरत्वोक्तिः कर्मयोगस्य कर्मसन्न्यासात् विशिष्टत्वाभिधानम्।
तदा तयोः निःश्रेयसकरत्वोक्तिः कर्मयोगस्य च कर्मसन्न्यासात् विशिष्टत्वाभिधानम्।
इत्येतदुभयम् उपपद्येत उपपद्येते आत्मविदस्तु सन्न्यासकर्मयोगयोः असम्भवात्। तयोः निःश्रेयसकरत्वाभिधानम्। कर्मसन्न्यासाच्च कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते इति च अनुपपन्नम्।
कर्मसन्न्यासाच्च कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते इति च अनुपपन्नम्।
Yes, up to that we saw. It's a long Sambandha Bhashyam. Shankara Bhagavad Pada, he just recalls the message of the fourth chapter. The fourth chapter, Chaturtha Adhyaya Bhagavata Uktam Sarva Karma Sannyasam Uktam. एतैः वचनैः एतैः श्लोकैः सर्वकर्म संन्यासम् उक्तम्। यद्यपि अत्र न उक्तः कस्य सर्वकर्म संन्यासः, आत्मविदः अथवा अनात्मविदः इति न, यद्यपि न उक्तं तथापि भगवतः वचनैः ज्ञातुं शक्यते आत्मविदः एव सर्वकर्म संन्यासं भगवान् अवोचत् इति। अर्जुनः आत्मवित्वा अनात्मवित्वा, अर्जुनः अनात्मवित् एव, अतः एव भगवता उक्तं चित्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठ, योगम् आतिष्ठ, कर्म आतिष्ठ इति वचनेन कर्मानुष्ठानलक्षणं योगम् आतिष्ठ इति अर्जुनं प्रति भगवान् उक्तवान्। Even though Bhagavan has not told explicitly that the sannyasa, karma sannyasa for vidvat, that is the vidvat sannyasa for karma sannyasa, that is vidvat sannyasa for atmavit, those who are prepared already, they have done homework, they are ready for sannyasa, exclusively committed to the pursuit of sannyasa. They are ready for jnana nishtha, having done shravanam and enough mananam, now Nididhyasram, for ready for reading a life of contemplation, 24/7 only Shastram. To them only by these words, karma sannyasam avochata Bhagavan, not to Arjuna. Therefore, natural on the part of Arjuna to question this come, because Bhagavan did not explicitly say that this is for Atmavidah sarvakarma sannyasam iti. Ataha Arjunasya manasi ekah prashnaha udeti. Tayoho karmanushtana karma sannyasayoho. Between the two, kim prashasya taram iti. Why did he ask one among the two? Because paraspara virodha sitigativat ekatvena kartum ashakyatvat. All these are hetu. Arjuna knows these two cannot be performed together. Therefore, only this question comes. Karmanushtana sanya sitigativat paraspara virodhat ekena purushena kartum ashakyatvat. The same person cannot do simultaneously both. It is contradictory. And also Bhagavan did not tell how this should be followed, the krama, which one first and which one. Kala bedana anushtana vidana bhavat, abhavat. Therefore, from that, he did inference. Therefore, one of them to be followed, to be taken up as one's lifestyle, nishta. As Bhagavan told in the third chapter, Jnana Yogena Sankyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam iti Lokesmin Trivida Nishta Para Prokta Maya Naka. Therefore, he thought Jnana Nishta is better. Itu prashasya taram. Therefore, karma anushtana karma sannyasayoho kim kartavyam tat kartavyam na itarat. That which is prashasya taram, tat kartavyam na itarat iti evam manvanaha, thus thinking, chintayan Arjunaha uvacha prashasya tarabhutsaya, wanting to know which is better. Sannyasam karamnam Krishna iti. Even though Bhagavan had Vidvat sannyasa in mind, and he talked about them through the different verses in the previous chapter, Arjuna, he took that to be Vividisha sannyasa. We know the background now, we having seen. Arjuna took that to be Vividisha sannyasa. But now the Purvapakshi did not know what Bhagavan, he understood what Bhagavan said, but he did not know what Arjuna thinks. And Acharya asked, because next chapter is Arjuna's question, and then Bhagavan also has replied, and chapter continues. Therefore, now Acharya has to establish the validity of the Arjuna's question. Arjunasya prashnaha upapannaha iti nirupyam ataha. Now, Madhyastha, this Purvapakshi asking a question now. Atmavidaha yogena nishtam pratipipadayishan gata adhyaye chaturtha adhyaye bhagavata bhagubhihi vachanaihi sarvakama sannyasam avochat. Purvapakshi understood. Bhagavan wanted to present the nishtha, the lifestyle which is characterized by jnanam for Atmavit. That is why through different words Bhagavan talked about sarvakarma sannyasa. That is for Atmavidaha, natu anatmajnasya. So Bhagavan prescribes sarvakarma sannyasam for Vidvat, that is Vidvat sannyasam for the one who is Atmavit. Therefore, karma anushtana karma sannyasa, it is meant for two different persons. It is meant for two different persons. Therefore, where is the question of choosing either of them? And that Pashasyatara Vibhutsaya, the question asked by Arjuna is not proper, because the Sarvakarma Sannyasa for Atmavit. Therefore, when the person already has done homework, where is the question of Karma Yoga for that person? There is no question of Karma Yoga. Therefore, how can, when there is no choice, how can Arjuna ask this question? That question is not proper. Iti Purvapakshi. And Bhagavad Pada says, yes, what you say is true from your standpoint. Tadaviprayena Satyam. But Arjunasya Aviprayena, Prashnaha Aviprayena, it is not Prashnaha Yujyate eva Prashnaha Upapannaha eva iti Vayam Vadamaha. How, if you ask, we say, Yadyapi Bhagavata Purvodagritaihi Vachanaihi Karma Sannyasasya Kartavyataya Vivakshitatvat Pradhanyam. Primarily, the intention of the Bhagavan through the words of the previous chapter, it is Sarvakarma Sannyasa, which is to be taken, Kartavyam, to be done. Sarvakarma Sannyasa enjoys the status of to be done, and that is what intended by the Lord. That can be known from the verses of the previous chapter. But that also, Kartaramena, without Karta, to be done is not possible. The same thing can be there for Anatmavita also. Anatmavita, Akshayapi Karta, Praptaha. So whether it is Atmavita or Anatmavita, Atmavita also taking sannyasa, therefore the sannyasa enjoys a status that Atmavita enjoys a status of karta and sannyasa enjoys a status of to be done, kartavyataya. Similarly, Anatmavita also, without being an agent, sannyasa or karma yoga cannot be taken up. Who takes sannyasa? I. Who does yoga? I. So the sense of me doing that particular kriya, that is there. So therefore, Atmavita kartrikatvam sannyasam na avochit. Sannyasasya vivakshitam na vivakshitam. Iti Arjuna thinks. Iti evam manvanasya Arjunasya Atmavita kartrikatvam sannyasasya na vivakshitam Bhagavata. Iti Arjuna thinks. The thinking of Arjuna is different from the thinking of Purvapakshi. But Acharya establishes that not the Atmavita kartrikatvam sannyasa is intended by the Lord. Iti evam manvanasya Arjunasya. Therefore, Karmanushtana and Karma Sanyasayoho Avidbat Purushakartakatvam api asti. A person who is not Atmavit, he also has the status of, he also can take karma or karma sannyasa. The karma anushtanam and karma sannyasa, this enjoys the status of to be done even for avidvat purusha, even for anatmavit. Of course, karma yoga for anatmavit, karma sannyasa also is for anatmavit, because Bhagavan did not tell that karma sannyasa, sarvakarma sannyasa is for atmavit. Iti did not specifically said na vivakshitam bhagavata. Therefore, Arjunasya prashnaha, it is asking this question, tayoho yat kim prashasyataram kim kartavyam na itarat iti prashnaha. It is not untenable, it is tenable only. This is to start with. And also further we can say, the Bhashyakara says, Prativachana Vakyartha Nirupanena api, by the words, by the answer, what Bhagavan gave to the question of Arjuna. From that also we can very well infer this. How, if you ask, Sannyasa karma yogo nishchaya sakaro tayostu karma sannyasat karma yoga vishyate iti bhagavataha prativachanam in the 5th chapter, he says. So therefore, from that etat nirupyam, since Bhagavan has said this, therefore etat nirupyam, this is to be ascertained. What? Kim atmavit kartarkayogo sannyasa karmayogo nishchaya sakaratvam privachan muktva. That is for atmavit, the one who has the knowledge of Atma. For him, sannyasa and karma yoga both enjoy the status of giving moksha, nishchaya sakaratvam. So that the means for moksha, muktva, prayojan muktva, the purpose of both, having told, by some kutaschit visheshat, by some vishesha, by some reason, karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate iti uchyate va, iti uchyate, Bhagavan kim uchyate, it is a question. Or, Agosvit, both enjoy the status of giving moksha, it is a prayojanam of having told that whether karma sannyasa, compared to karma sannyasa, karma yoga is greater iti kim uchyate, kim is there, iti kim uchyate iti interrogation, uchyate va, or anatmavit, this is for atmavit, then anatmavit kartarka yoga. First thing is atmavit, second one anatmavit. Anatmavit kartarka yoga sanya karma yoga. Yoga tadubhayam is nishchaya sakaratvam and karma yogat, karma sannyasat karma yogasya vaishishtyam. Vaishishtyam uchyate iti etat nirupyam. This has to be ascertained. Karma sannyasa and karma yoga for atmavit, and karma sannyasa and karma yoga for anatmavit. Whether it is told for atmavit or it is told for anatmavit has to be ascertained. Iti. Moreover, kincha ataha, further also, atmavit kartarka yogo karma sannyasa karma yogo nishchaya sakaratva. Atmavit kartarka yogo karma sannyasa karma yogo means that is atmavit kartarka sannyasa is Videsha sannyasa, vidvat sannyasa. And of course, karma yoga. These both nishchaya sakaratvam, both enjoy the status of being the means for moksha. Both enjoy the, that is karma sannyasa and karma yoga, both enjoy the status of giving moksha, and for which who is the karta? Atmavit. Atmavit is karta. Then among these two, sannyasa and karma yoga, karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishtatvam uchyate, compared to karma sannyasa karma yoga uchyate. Yadi, this is yadi, if यदि उच्यते, यदि वा अनात्मवित कर्तृक योग कर्म संन्यास कर्म योगयोः तदुभयम् उच्यते इति. Whether the status of being a contributor for moksha, that karma sannyasa and karma yoga for which the atmavit is the karta, and of these two, karma yoga is greater compared to sannyasa is told, or whether it is told, or whether these two are told with regard to anatmavit, Anatmaviti is a karta who is ignorant of Atma, who doesn't know Atma. Iti uchyate va. Atra uchyate. Here it is. Uchyate. Iti. See, this is akshepa. This is prashna akshepa. For that, you have to take it as an akshepa. By the Purva Pakshi. For that we say, Atra uchyate. Atra kim uchyate? Atmavit kartarka yogo. Atmavit kartarka yogo, the word tells what? Sannyasa and karma yoga for whom? Atmavit kartarka yogos, sannyasa karma yoga yoga. Sannyasa and karma yoga for Atmavit. Atmavit, the karta is Atmavan, the knower of the self. Asambhava, for him it is asambhava, not possible. Why? Tayoho nishchayasa karatva vachanam tadiyacha karma sannyasat karma yogasya vishishtatva avidanam iti etad ubhayam anupapannam. We say it is not possible. This sannyasa and karma yoga, both for Atmavit, impossibility, asambhavat, impossibility of karma yoga and karma sannyasa to be followed by the Atmavita Atmavan. And therefore, Tayoga among both are Nishchaya Sakaratva Vachanam, it is also not Upapannam. And Karma Sannyasat, Karma Yoga also, Vishishtaha iti, that Vachanam also not Upapannam. It means it is not applicable to Atmavita. Atmavita already has done homework. Then why Karma Yoga for him? Therefore, it is Tayogo Nishchaya Sakaratva Vachanam, that is both enjoy the status of the giver of moksha is not possible, and also there is no comparison between karma yoga and karma sannyasa. Because why? Because karma yoga is a means for karma sannyasa. Therefore, jnanena eva moksha, natu karmana. Karma gives the preparedness, yogyata. Therefore, to say that both gives moksha, it is not proper with regard to Atmavit. Atmavit already has done homework. Therefore, taking to Vidvat Sannyasa, Jnanam, and Moksha. Therefore, Karma Yoga cannot enjoy the status of Nishchaya Sakaratvam. And also, when that is so, how can you compare Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyasa and say Karma Yoga is greater than Karma Sannyasa? That is also Tadubayam Vachanam, na upapannam, that is with regard to Atmavit. Okay, Idi Anatmavidaha if you take. Karma Sannyasa and Tat Pratikulaha, Karma Yoga, Karma Anushtanam. This both are Sambhavetam. Then, Tada, Tayoho Nishchaya Sakaratwoktihi, both enjoy the status of being the contributor for moksha, and Karma Sannyasat, Karma Yoga Sivishishtatva Abhidanam, this both are Upapadyate. With regard to Anatmavita, it is Upapadyate. Anatmavita, because the sannyasa, what it takes is Vividisha sannyasa. And Karma Yoga is Karma Yoga for both the agent, the karta is Ajnani only, Anatmavit only. Whereas for Vidvat Sannyasa, the agent is Atmavit. Therefore, both cannot be compared. Here it can be compared because the agent is same. The agent enjoys the same qualification. Anatmavit is the qualification. Being Anatmavit, he can take to Karma Yoga, or being Anatmavit, he can take to Vividisha Sannyasa. Wanting to know Atma, he can take to Sannyasa. So Tadubhayam Upapadyate. Both are, here it is possible. And Nishchaya Sakaratvam, of course, because for both, the agent is Ajnani. Even after taking Vividisha Sannyasa, the person after that, because Sannyasa he has taken, that doesn't mean you will get moksha. He is an Ajnani only. He has to study Shastram. Then Jnanam. Then Jnanena Moksha. So therefore, Vividisha Sannyasa and Karma Yoga, they both enjoy the same status, we can say. Both are the contributor for moksha. Yes, the person has choice with regard to choosing Karma Yoga or Vividisha Sannyasa. So their choice is karta is anatmavit only. Neither karma yoga nor Vividesha sannyasa will give moksha directly. It is through only jnanena eva. So therefore both are the jnana sadhanam. Yes, for that there is no problem, there is no issue. And there we can compare also karma sannyasat, karma yoga vishishyate, because in karma yoga, because in the lifestyle of karma yoga, one has ample avenues to grow, to prepare for sannyasa. Therefore, karma yoga vishishyate iti. Therefore, tadubhayam upapadyate eva. Whereas atmavidastu, for an atmavita, sannyasa, sarvakarma sannyasa and karma yoga is asambhavat, not possible. Yes, because karma yoga, it is a first ladder. It already has crossed. Then we come to sannyasa with vidvat sannyasa. Therefore, both cannot be together. Both, and for Atmavida, this asambhavat because of the impossibility of this sannyasa and karma yoga for a prescribed for a vidwan Atmavita, and nishayasa karatva vidanam also na upapannam anupapannam, and also comparison also karma yoga vishishyate karma yogasya vaishishtyatvam, that also na upapannam, that also not tenable. Karma yoga superior to karma sannyasa, that is also not tenable. Na upapannam anupapannam iti. Therefore the sannyasam karma yogascha, what Arjuna asked, that sannyasa is for Ajnani, Anatmavit, that sannyasa is Vividesha sannyasa, Anatmavit kartrika sannyasa. So Arjunasya prashnaha is Anatmavit kartrika sannyasa, Anatmavit kartrika karma yoga yoho, karma yoga yoho, karma yoga yoho. This sannyasa karma yogascha, among the two prashastyatara vibutsaya, Arjunasya prashnaha, kaha vishishtaha iti prashnaha, upapannaha bhavati. That is what Acharya has said. Now, it didn't stop. Further continues. Now, there is again, there is a question asked by the opponent. By asking question, whether the opponent is there or not. By asking further question, that we get more and more clarity. We understand very well the question of Arjuna. That is why all these discussions. Now, there is a prashnaha, a purvapakshi or a madhyastha or a student can be asked this question. What is that? Let us read. We have to read from here. Atra aha kim atmavidah sannyasa karma yogayoho
किम् आत्मविदः संन्यासकर्मयोगयोः
ubayoho api asambhavah
उभयोः अपि असम्भवः
ahosvit anyatarasya asambhavah
आहोस्वित अन्यतरस्य असम्भवः
yada cha anyatarasya asambhavah
यदा च अन्यतरस्य असम्भवः
kim karma sannyasasya uta karma yogasya
तदा किं कर्मसन्न्यासस्य कर्मयोगस्य
iti
इति
asambhave karanam cha vaktavyam iti.
असम्भवे कारणं च वक्तव्यम् इति
Atra prashnaha kriyate purvapakshina. Atra aha, with regard to this, it is told because it's a question here. Vaktavyam iti. Kim atmavidah sannyasa karma yoga yoga api asambhavah atava anyatarasya asambhavah. यदा च अन्यतरस्य असम्भवः तदा किं कर्मसन्न्यासस्य उत कर्मयोगस्य असम्भवे कारणं च वक्तव्यम् इति प्रश्नः. You have to read in that tone, then you will understand this is the question asked. So atra, with regard to this, with regard to what? That atra has to know what is with regard to Atmavit Kartrikayogo Sannyasa Karma Yoga Yogo Asambhavaha. That is atra. With regard to atra asmin vishaye, with regard to the asambhava, the impossibility of the performance of karma yoga and sannyasa for an atmavit. With regard to that, aha, a question is asked. Prashnah prichyate. Kim prashnah? Kim atmavidah sannyasa karma yoga yoho upayogo api asambhavaha. For an atmavidah shashti vagi, atmavidah, for an atmavit, sannyasa, karma sannyasa, and karma yoga, upayogo api. Whether both are not possible for an atmavit. Both are not possible. Impossibility of sannyasa and karma yoga, both. Upayogo api. Upayogo, what are those two? Sannyasa and karma yoga. Sarva karma sannyasa and karma yoga. Karma yoga yoga. Upayogo api asambhavaha kasya atmavidaha. But whether these two are not possible for an atmavita. Karma sannyasa and karma yoga. Whether these two are not possible, number one. Or anyatarasya asambhavaha. Or either one of them. Either one of them means sannyasa is impossible or karma yoga is impossible. For whom? For atmavita. Atmavidah kim upayogo api asambhavaha atava sannyasasya asambhavaha atava karma yogasya asambhavaha. This is the question. Further he says, yadacha, and also yada when anyatarasya asambhava, when one of them is not possible for an atmavita. One of them, when sannyasa is not possible for atmavita or karma yoga is not possible for atmavita, tada, that's what it is asking. Tada kim, what is not possible? Karma sannyasasya or karma yogasya. That also to be told, which is not possible for an atmavita. And if it is asambhave, when it is not possible, asambhave, karanam also vaktavyam. Why it is not possible? For that, the reason also has to be told why it is not possible. Kim karanam? Tadapi vaktavyam. Atmavidah upayogopi asambhavaha atava anyatarasya asambhavaha. Yadi asambhavaha anyatarasya kim tat? Karma sannyasah va karma yogaha. Kim asambhavaha? Karanam abhi asambhave karanam api vaktavyam. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 questions. Then for that, the answer. Uttaram Badamaha, Acharya says, answer is Atra Uchyate
प्रमुच्यते
Atmavidaha.
आत्मविदः.
First is Atmavida is talked about, then Anatmavidaha will come. The question is asked with regard to Atmavidaha. Whether these both are not possible for Atmavidaha or only one of them. If one of them is not possible, which is that one of them, Karma Sannyasa or Karma Yoga, why it is not possible? That is a question. Question is asked with regard to Atmavidaha. Therefore, Atra Uchyate Atmavidaha
आत्मविदः
Nivritta Mitya Jnanatvat
निवृत्तमित्याज्ञानत्वात्
Viparyaya Jnanam Moolasya
विपर्ययज्ञानमूलस्य
Karma Yogasya Sambhavah Syat.
कर्मयोगस्य सम्भवः स्यात्.
This is you know what is the Sutra Lakshanam? Sutrartho Vanyate Yatra Vaki Sutranukaribihi Swapadani cha Varnyante Bhashyam Bhashyavido Viduhu. That is the definition of Bhashya. So Bhashyakara now is Sangraha Vakya, he gives briefly, he replies. And then he is going to elaborate what it means. This is how Bhashyam would be. Sangraha, this is Sangraha Vakya, briefly said. The question asks for that brief answer. And further, brief answer, short answer. Then what answer he gave, he himself explains elaborately. Now, here the Sangraha, the meaning of this Vakya, Sangraha Vakya is Asambhavaha Syat. It is not possible. What is not possible? Kaha Asambhavaha, na Sambhavaha, Kaha, Kim tat Karma Yogasya Asambhavaha, Karma Yogaha Asambhavaha iti. Atra, with regard to the question what you asked, that is the question is Sannyasa and Karma Yoga, these two for Atmavit, both are not possible or one is not possible. One is not, why among them? Right? All this is the question. For that answer is Uchyate. Karma Yoga, Karma Yogasya Asambhavaha Syat, and Karma Yogasya, it has an adjective also. Viparyaya Jnana Moolasya Karma Yogasya. Karma Yoga is Viparyaya Jnana Moolasya. Viparyayam atava tat jnanam. Viparyaya Jnanam. Viparyaya Jnanam Moolam Yasya Karma Yogasya Saha Yogaha Karma Yogaha. So Viparyaya Jnana Moolasya is an adjective to Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is as its moola, as its root, where in the Jnanam, and the Jnanam is Viparyaya. Viparyaya means wrong understanding. Samyak Jnanam, opposite to that of is Viparyaya Jnanam, wrong understanding. Viparyaya, opposite understanding, in fact. Wrong understanding, and that is quite opposite understanding. So Karma Yoga as its moola, as its root in the understanding that which is wrong, which is opposite. Why we say? Because Karma Yoga as the Karma Yoga requires on the part of the yogi, the Karma Yogi, what requires? Your Karma Yogi must have Ishvararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. The Karma Yogi, does he have the Abhimani of Aham Karta? Of course he has. Then only it is yoga. Otherwise, if he doesn't have that, if he knows Aham Akarta, Abhokta, Atma iti, then why Karma Yoga for him? He doesn't have to do any karma at all. Karma Yoga is not required because already he knows Aham Atma, Akarta, I don't do, Aham Akarta, non-doer. The doership is not there. Abhokta, when it is Akarta, then Abhokta. That is Jnanam. If Karma Yogi has Jnanam, then why should he do karma? Therefore, Karma Yogi has the Abhimana that Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta. That what Jnanam is that? It is Viparya Jnanam. Abhimana is there with regard to the Shariramana Sangata. It is Ajnanam, Viparya Jnanam. Therefore, Karma Yoga has its basis in the understanding which is Aham Karta Bhokta iti. Therefore, whereas for Atmavit, Nivritta Mitya Jnanatvat. Nivritta Mitya Jnanatvat. For Atmavit, the Mitya Jnanam is Nivrittam. Nivritta Mitya Jnanatvat. Jnanam, the knowledge. Jnanatvat. Nivrittam Mitya Jnanam Yasya Saha. Nivritta Mitya Jnanaha. That word qualifies Atmavidaha. Atmavit is one. Who is that? Atmavit is one for whom that Mitya Jnanam, wrong understanding, is Nivrittam, has gone. Nivrittam. Nivrittam Mitya Jnanam Yasya Saha Kaha Atmavit Atmavidaha. Atmavidaha Nivritta Mithya Jnanam. And Jnanam, the status of being one, this status of being one who has the knowledge, who the status of one for whom the Mithya Jnanam is gone. The one who enjoys the status of being the one whose wrong understanding is removed. Mithya Jnanam is gone for whom that person is Atmavid. Therefore, Nivritta Mithya Jnanasya Atmavidaha. Then the status of being that, for that Tasya Bhavaha Tvatalu, Nivritta Mithya Jnanatvam, Tasmat Panchami, that is a Hetu, Nivritta Mithya Jnanatvat. So this word actually, it is in Panchami, but Nivritta Mithya Jnanaha, the word qualifies Atmavit. The Visheshanam, Hetu Garbha Visheshanam we call. Atmavit is one for whom the Mithya Jnanam is gone. And that is what the word is there. So it is Visheshanam, and Visheshanam is in the Garbha, in the womb. Therefore we call it as Hetu Garbha Visheshanam. Hetu Garbha Visheshanam is there, but even though the word is in Panchami, the Panchami, there, Nivritta Mithya Jnanaha is a word that qualifies Atmavit. Then Nivritta Mithya Jnanatvam, then Tasmat Nivritta Mithya Jnanatvat. So the word has got the Visheshana in its Garbha. The Hetu has the Visheshanam as its Hetu in the Garbha. Garbha means whom. It's called Hetu Garbha Visheshanam. It's a good example for Hetu Garbha Visheshanam. Why is called Atmavit? Because for him the Mithya Jnanam is gone. Since he enjoyed the status of being the one for whom the Mithya Jnanam is gone, therefore Atmavit, therefore for him, Atmavidaha, for him, Karma Yoga is not possible. Why? Because it has its mula, it has basis in the wrong understanding. So Karma Yoga therefore implies wrong understanding. Then how it is possible for an Atmavit? Therefore it is not Sambhava, it is not possible for Atmavit. Atmavidaha Nivrittamitya Jnanatvat Viparjaya Jnanamulasya Karmayogasya Sambhavaha Syat. The sentence is little difficult to understand because it is a Sangraha Vakya. Nivrittamitya Jnanaha Atmavidaha. Atmavidaha is one for whom the Vitya Jnanam is Nivrittam. Ataha Viparyayas. That's why Ataha instead of Panchami I said Ataha. Therefore, Viparya Jnana Mulasya Karma Yogasya Asambhavaha Kasya, you have to ask Kasya. That is why Atmavidaha is the Shashti Bhakti. Atmavidaha Viparya Jnana Mulasya Karma Yogasya Asambhavaha Syat. Viparya Jnana Mulasya also Shashti. It is qualifying Karma Yogasya. Atmavidaha also Shashti. We cannot put everything as together in Visheshanam. No. So that's why when we translate Asambhavaha Syat. What is Asambhava? Karma Yogasya Asambhava. Karma Yoga is Asambhava, which is Nivritta Jnana Moolam. So Nivritta Jnana Moolasya Karma Yogasya. Impossibility of Karma Yoga is there for Atmavidaha Shashti. Impossibility of Karma Yoga is there. That is the translation. If you do literally, we don't do literal translation. Karma Yoga, impossibility of Karma Yoga, and Karma Yoga as its understanding, as its basis in wrong understanding. The Karma Yoga, which has its basis in the wrong understanding, is Asambhava, is impossible. Impossibility of the Karma Yoga, which has its mula in the wrong understanding. For whom? Atmavidaha. Kidrisha Atmavidaha. Niruttamidya Jnanaha. Atmavidaha. and he enjoys the status. And Atmavita is Nivrittamitya Jnanaha, and therefore he enjoys the status of being a Jnanavan. Therefore, Jnanatvam Asti Tasya Bhavaha, therefore Nivrittamitya Jnanatvam, the status of being the one for whom wrong understanding is gone. Therefore, Tasmat, Tapavanchami. Therefore, for the Atma with Karma Yoga, which has its Mula basis, root in Viparya Jnanam, is not possible. Asambhavaha bhavati. Iti Sangraha Vakya. And Acharya himself explained the Sangraha Vakya very elaborately. Now, we'll do that. We'll read that in the next class. But what is this Mithya Jnanam? We'll discuss and then stop. What is Mithya Jnanam? It's a Jnanam, Samyak Darshanam, Mithya Jnanam. A yogi, Karma Yogi does karma. How does he do karma? What is Karma Yoga? Ishvararpana Buddhi. Karma Yoga implies the attitude with which the karma is done. Karma being the same. A Karmi also does and Karma Yogi also does. But the difference is, a Karma Yogi does karma with the attitude of Ishvararpana Buddhi. Ishvarartham idam karma. Ishvararpana Buddhya and Prasada Buddhi. The third chapter, we have seen that 30th shloka. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa nirashid nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. Karma Yoga is beautifully summarized in that shloka. What is Karma Yoga? The 5 points are mentioned. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetas nirashihi nirmamaha vigatajvaraha santaha. Karma Yoginaha. So, the person must be a viveki, and he must renounce all the karma unto me, that is to be offered to the Lord. No asha, nirashihi, and nirmamaha, that no sense of minus, and vikata jvaraha is free from the jvara, the pressure of the result, the pressure of expecting the pressure of the results. Of course, he can. There is nobody does karma without expectation, but there is no jvara, there is no restlessness due to that. That is vigata jvaraha. So therefore, there is no frustration or there is no elation, there is no anger. That is vigata jvaraha. This is what karma yoga is. So therefore, karma yoga involves this buddhi and this understanding. So aham karta ishwarartam mamopata samasta dvidakshadvara shri parameshwara prityartam. That person is a yogi, karma yogi. He cannot be an akarta. He cannot be a akarta meaning jnani. If he says aham akarta, abhokta aham atma aham brahma asmi, then why is not a karma yogi? Then he cannot, he need not, he cannot, he not required to do karma yoga. So therefore the karma yoga which is done by a karma yogi involves the understanding that aham jivaha aham karta iti. But when the same person understands that later by being exposed to the Shastram, he has done Shravanam and Mananam, he has got Pramanya Buddhi in the Shastram, then he gains a vision, aham Atma Brahma Akarta Bhokta. Ishvaraha Mattaha na Binnaha iti. If he has the understanding, then there is various Kartrutvam. Ishvara is me, Jagat Karanam Brahmaham asmi. Then now, if that is so, how can he offer karma to Ishvara? That is why he is a Jnani. Therefore, Jnani, in fact, Jnani doesn't look upon himself as one who is doing karma. Everything is Ishvara. Aham Jagat Karanam Brahma iti. Then karma is for whom it will do karma and to whom he will offer the karma pala. So he doesn't have the buddhi, the yoga buddhi, which karma yogi has. Therefore, either Ishwararpana buddhi nor prasada buddhi. It doesn't require, because aham Ishvaraha iti. If the person does karma yoga, it is an obstacle for him. Suppose if the person Atmavita does, it is an obstacle. For that person, what is a sadhanam? Nidhyasanam is a sadhanam. Nishta is a sadhanam. It is wrong for him to do karma yoga because it involves Ishvararpana buddhi and prasada buddhi. For him, nidhyasanam should be done. Nishta to be practiced. That becomes this buddhi becomes an obstacle. That is why Vidvat Sannyasi, for Vidvat Sannyasi, karma yoga buddhi is an obstacle. That is why karma yoga and sannyasa cannot go together for Vidvat Sannyasi, Vidwan. Similarly, for karma yogi, Aham Brahma, it is not for karma yogi. He does karma. Therefore, how can there be sannyasa for him? So not possible. And with regard to the person who is Jnani Atmavita, who has the knowledge Aham Karta Bhokta iti, for him, Aham Karta Bhokta, that Jnanam is gone. That is what Nivritta Jnanam, that is Mithya Jnanam. So karma yogi doing karma as is Mithya Jnanam, whereas a Jnana yogi, a Vidwan, a Atmavita, for whom this Mithya Jnanam, which the karma yogi has, it is not there. Therefore, only karma yoga is not possible for him. The karma yogi also has to reach this stage. Does it mean that Vidwan will not do any karma? He may do karma like Janaka, etc. And Bhagavan has said in the third chapter, Karma Neviksam Siddham Asitaha Janakadayaha. What does it mean? They also do karma and not taken to sannyasa being in other ashrama. But the karma, what they do is karma abhasa only, not really karma. Because being jnani, therefore the viparya jnanam, mithya jnanam, the mithya jnanam is gone for them. They enjoy the right vision. Therefore, the karma, what they do is only karma abhasa, resemblance of karma, not really karma yoga. So karma yoga, that is real for karma yogi, and the karma which done by a vidwan is karma abhasa. It may look same, but a lot of difference is there because karma yoga implies viparya jnanam, and atmavita is vidwan is one for whom mithya jnanam is gone. Then he also doing karma is, that is karma abhasa, not really karma. When the karma can be called a karma only when there is kartrutva buddhi. When there is only the buddhi, the buddhi, the understanding that aham karta iti. That is the person, therefore is ajnani. Therefore he has got viparya jnanam. How can Atmavita do karma? He doesn't have, because he is nivritta mithya jnanaha. Therefore for him, karma yoga is asambhavaha, is impossible. Next sentence we will read the next class. The long one. We'll stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavada.
धन्यवाद शरण जी.
धन्यवाद जी.
Dhanyavada.